Maundy Thursday. 2 funerals today. One of them I know is unfortunately somebody who died from COVID-19. I'm in Hereford now. I'm going somewhere else to do that. Maundy Thursday. I used to find this the most powerful day in the church's year when I was a vicar. I haven't been to church for a long time because I don't find it overly helpful anymore. But I still have a deep respect and love for the man we know as Jesus. His name was probably closer to Joshua originally, Yeshua. Maundy Thursday, the day when he turned everything on his head. He used bread and wine to create something that has been practiced ever since. He did this at a Passover meal. Probably the church has turned it into something that was never intended, kind of magical rite, really. Essentially, it was a simple meal among friends where he promised that he would continue to be with them if they carried on the tradition. He also washed their feet, which was a profoundly, I suppose for them, disorientating thing to happen. They were his followers, and yet he was acting as their servant. And in many ways, I think that's what's happening at the moment. For a lot of us, we're trying to serve other people as best we can. We're trying to wash other people's feet. I'm not so much talking about myself. I'm talking about the medics, the people on the front line, people still willing to serve you in stores, people delivering goods, people who will probably never actually meet to talk to, but have been there for you. They've been there for all of us, continuing to selflessly stand out and put themselves at risk for others. I'm looking around because I'm waiting for somebody that I wanted to have a chat with, through car windows, of course. So I'm about to take another funeral, and I don't really know how much longer this is going to be happening, because I hear that crematoriums all over the country are being closed to public funerals. I mean, I say public, they only allow a handful of people to go, but they're being closed for funerals, apart from direct cremations, which I find unbearably sad. But on the other hand, I can see why that's happening, because it's ever so hard to keep to social distancing rules in this context. Tomorrow's Good Friday. Good Friday is another thing altogether. Good Friday, I used to say, was about the crucifixion of God himself. God on a cross. God who was plunging himself, herself, itself into human experience, even to the point of death. I don't know what I think about it anymore, Good Friday and Easter Sunday, because to me Jesus was a human being. Symbolically, he was the Christ, the one who we see the character of God through, but essentially I think he was a human being he was probably the bravest human being the world's ever known, because he was willing to face all of the shit, both religious and political, and stand up against it without hitting back. The perfect form of non-violent resistance. He was prepared to stand up and continue to practice what he preached, which was about bringing grace to the marginalized and bringing what he believed was God's grace to all people, the strangers, the poor, the lepers, the women of the night, the tax collectors, blah, blah, blah. Symbolically, those who have been ostracized by religion and by politics. And he was prepared to take the consequences without lifting a finger in his defense. I find that remarkable. So Good Friday is another challenge for us in this COVID-19 situation, where we are prepared to stand up for people, stand up for what we know is right, and to hold it all, to try to make some sense of it. I don't think we can at the moment. It's too early days. I'm waffling on, but whatever. I may have something else to say on Easter Sunday. Cheers all. Bye-bye.